Hey everyone, it's Meridy here. Welcome back. And today I just have a little layout in honor of St. Patrick's Day for you. I'm obviously filming this before St. Patrick's Day, and apparently I do not take pictures of St. Patrick's Day very often at all because I could not find any from the past 5 years. So for my layout today, I am planning on taking a picture, which would now be the day this video is airing, on St. Patrick's Day. I want to take a picture of all 3 of my kids dressed in their green. I'm going to take it landscape mode. So this little paper right here is going to represent the picture that I'm hopefully going to take on the day this video airs, and I can just add it to my layout. Because who knew that I had no St. Patrick's Day pictures? I don't know, and I have tons and tons of pictures. So, okay, moving on. I'm going to start with I just wanted to make a video with some of the a la carte, exclusive pieces that we offer on the website. So I'm just going to use 3 things that we offered this year from the website, some cardstock out of my stash. So I'm going to be using this little leprechaun with the Lucky acrylic piece. I'm going to be using this amazing cut that I got from the store, and I'm going to be using the St. Patrick's Day sequins, which have little rainbows in them. I think you can probably see that. Okay, and then for my stash, I grabbed some scraps of paper so I can back all of these things with scraps of paper. So I just grabbed tiny little scraps, but I did not have any scraps of paper or any paper at all, actually, that was like a gold color. But I want to make some of these things gold, like the gold in the pot of gold and this. So I grabbed one roll of gold washi tape out of my stash, okay? So I did grab that. And then I've got a sheet of white cardstock and a sheet of green cardstock out of my stash. So I am going to start with gutting my green cardstock because I want to mat the entire layout on this piece. So I'm just going to gut it with about 1-inch borders all the way around. And then I just realized that I didn't even mention the other things that I have sitting here that I want to use. I want to use some mixed media on this layout. So I grabbed a Lucky Clover Distress Oxide ink, a Mowed Lawn Distress Oxide ink, the Nuvo Mica Mist in Fresh Pear, which we have this available on the website, and a Nuvo Mica Mist in Aspen Gold. So I just grabbed those couple mixed media things out of my stash too. So I've got that green paper gutted, and I'm gonna come and take about 3/4 of an inch off of 2 sides of this white paper, because this white paper is going to be the background of my layout. But I'm going to mat it onto this. So my whole layout will be on this green paper. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere the white paper down to this gutted green paper that I have right here. Okay, and then this is going to represent my photo, and this is for, I believe this is 6 1/4. Yeah, let's pretend like my photo is matted on this. This piece right here is actually 6 1/4 inches long and 4 1/4 inches tall, because I want a little white mat to stick out. And then I'm going to go ahead and mat this white on this green, because I do want a little bit more green on there. And then once I print a 4x6 photo of St. Patrick's Day, I can just adhere that right to the top of this. And then my layout will be totally complete. Okay, so I've got that. And I've got my round circle here. Now, I want to be able to see all the little icons on this. I don't want it to be covered up so much by my photo. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut this in half. And I'm going to cut right here between the 17 and the coins, and I'm going to cut right here between these coins and this banner. And I'm just going to simply trim it with my scissors. And I realize it's not going to be perfect because the bottom of the 17 is a little thin, but it's just going to be how it's going to be. See, like that isn't, you could tell I took a little slice out of there, but it's okay because I think I can wedge those up underneath the picture a little and make it look better. Okay, so I'm gonna have these on my layout like that. Oh, you can't even see the 17s still. There, I like it a little bit better like that. And then to fill in this little gap right here so it doesn't look empty, I'm going to use a piece of this and I'm gonna cut banner wedges out of it. So let's see, I want it to be not quite this thick. I'm gonna cut about, let's see, right now that piece is 3 3/4 inches thick. I'm gonna cut it to 3 1/4. I feel like that's pretty good. And then I'm gonna cut the wedge out of the end. So 3 1/4. Oh. And then I'm just gonna continue this. So I've got my little notch cut. And I'm going to go ahead and cut this in half because I don't exactly know where I want the other half to be. So I'm just going to cut 2 pieces with notched ends, and then I can move them, you know, longer and shorter on here. So let me trim the notch out of this other one. Yes, this is good. Okay, so now I've got the gist of this layout. I'm debating whether I want to cover up. I like the top. I like the 17 sticking out and the coins sticking out. I really like how this is looking. Down here, this flag is covered up, but that's fine. I think I'm just going to go ahead and trim that flag off because I don't feel like I need that, especially because it's hiding underneath this. And I really want the rainbow to be flat on the bottom. I think this is pretty good. Okay, and I'm not gonna save this. I'm not gonna reuse that. Next, I want to start backing every element on here. So I'm going to take some scraps and everything that I want to be gold, like a coin, the horseshoe probably, this coin and the gold up here, I am going to back on this paper. So what I'm going to do is cover this paper with the gold washi tape. Oh, that washi does not want to tear. Definitely needs to be cut. And then I'm going to use this as like it's cardstock or pattern paper to back those elements. And you're not going to see these seams in here because these are teeny tiny things that we're backing. So I'm not worried that there are seams between this. Another way to do this would just be to paint, you know, a piece of paper or something the right color. And then I'm going to take my gold coin here and I'm just going to cut this so it can nicely back behind there. And this is what I'm going to do for using paper scraps from my stash for all of these things. So I'm going to just back a couple on camera for you to see, and then the rest I'm going to go off camera to back because I know it's not very exciting watching this. So that's ready to glue on, and in order for me to get the glue on exactly the right places quickly, I'm just going to dab it on the back of my hand like this. And then we can back this. Okay. And there we have the gold coin. So I'm gonna go ahead and back the top of this pot of gold using some more of this. And I'll do all the gold details using just scraps of this paper that I just put washi on. The next thing that I'm going to back, I'll back this flag next, and then after that I'm going to go off camera to do all the rest of the things. But the flag, I believe, is white, orange, and green. So let me make sure I have that right and in the right order. Okay, so I am right. It's green, then white, then orange. So to back it, all I'm gonna do is just, you could trace this first instead of just cutting in like I am right now. But I'm doing this on camera, so I'm trying to go as quick as possible. And I don't even think I need to finish this flag on camera. You get the idea. So the next section is white, and then the next section is orange. And I'm gonna do all of these various things on here. And then some of them I'm going to turn into a shaker. So that's a good idea. Why don't we show that right now? Let's see. I think I wanna turn this 4-leaf clover into a shaker. Okay, the first thing that you're gonna need to do to make a shaker is get a piece of acetate, clear acetate. So I've got that right here. I know it's hard to see. And I'm going to cut it the same size as this 4-leaf clover. I'm gonna outline it with a black marker so it's a little bit easier for me to cut. Okay. And I'm going to cut just right inside of my outline. And then once you get this acetate piece cut out, this is the first thing you need to adhere back on the back on your cut file, because this is going to be like the window in front, so the sequins don't all come rushing out. So you're going to adhere this right to the back here. And I am going to run the glue by hand on this instead of putting it on the back of my hand, because I don't want to miss any spots and have it not be sticking. So it's just easier to run it on the back in that case. Let me make sure I'm getting this on straight. This is a bit tricky. Okay, I think I got that. And then I kind of cut this wrong in one little spot. So I'm gonna flip it over and cut off any edges that might be hanging over, which I've got a couple here. Okay, so we've got a window on this guy. Okay. And then I want my shaker to be, what color in the back? I don't necessarily want it to be green. I think I want it to be white in the background because I really want the sequins to show up. So I will take another scrap of white. Oh, that one's not big enough. And I'm just going to cut out this same shape, this 4-leaf clover shape. You could outline it with a pencil instead of just taking straight to the scissors like I'm doing right here. But you're going to want to cut the exact same shape of this 4-leaf clover out of the white paper. Okay, and when you make sure it's lined up nicely, it is. Then you're going to flip, I'm gonna move this. You're gonna flip this over and you're gonna put dimensional foam tape around the edges here. And I'm not gonna do these 2 lines right here because I don't care. I want the sequins to flow all in the inside area. I don't need it to stay in each quadrant there. So I'm just gonna cut the foam tape into tiny little pieces. put it around the edges. And I don't want any space in between these pieces of foam tape, because if there's space, then the sequins can slip out. So I'm gonna go off camera because this is gonna take quite a while since these are curvy. I guess I didn't really think that through when I decided to make this into a shaker. But I will go off camera and finish putting all of these on, and I will be right back. Okay, so I've got all my tape on the back here, and it's very messy, but that's just the way it is. And then I'm gonna sprinkle a few of these in here. Make sure I get some of the coins. They're not really coins, but the gold little pieces that look like coins, and some of the rainbows. And I feel like this is pretty full. This is good. And then I'm going to take all of the sticky part of the tape off of these, because this is, I've got to peel all the little pieces off. So I will go off camera to get all of those off because it's going to take a while. And then I will come back and show you how to put this, finish this part up. Okay, I've got all the tape off and this is ready to go down. I am going to go ahead and add a little bit more adhesive to the top of this double stick tape because I just want to really make sure that these guys don't fall out, and I'm just putting on a very tiny little dot on each piece of tape. And then I can go ahead in here. I want to make sure I'm getting this in the right place. And pop that right on top. And then we have a little shaker. I'm going to go ahead and clean up the edges where you can see the tape sticking out of the bottom. Okay, in retrospect, regarding turning this little thing into a shaker, I probably would do a shape that doesn't have so many curves and bumps because it's hard to get this tape on that little tiny edge, the foam tape on that little tiny edge, and I'm not liking that sometimes I can see some of it sticking out of the bottom. So take that into consideration when you're deciding which shapes to make into a shaker. Maybe use something with like a straight edge, like the beer mug or something. So let me go off camera and finish backing all of these cut files, and I will be right back. Alrighty guys, that took me quite a while. So if you are following along and doing this, or using this as inspiration, be prepared for it to take quite a while. Maybe turn on the TV or something in the background. Okay, so now we've got our picture and we've got our little tab sticking out. And then this is gonna be under here. And these are gonna be under here. So what I'm going to do is I want some mixed media in the background here to kind of make the white of this cut apart really pop off the page. So I'm gonna take a pencil and I'm gonna ever so slightly draw, oh, is this writing? Yeah, like kind of the way that this follows. So I kind of know how this arches. Okay, so I've got my light pencil marks so I could tell where this circle is going to lay when it gets on my page. And then I am going to get my Distress Oxide inks, and I'm going to use a glass mat to do this technique right here. So let me get my glass mat out. And if you don't have a glass mat, I feel like you can use something, oh, like a plate maybe, something similar. It needs to not soak up the ink. So we're gonna put some ink in that Mowed Lawn color and some ink in this Lucky Clover color. And I am going to grab an old piece of packaging that ephemera or something came in. And I'm gonna get this ink a little wet with some water. I'm just putting 2 spritzes so it's not too wet. And I'm gonna start with the lighter color, mix the water in, and I'm just gonna come in on my page around right where I drew that circle with my pencil. And I'm just gonna blot this down. Now I might need to make this a little whiter. I don't know yet. I'm gonna do it once and set my stuff down and see how it looks. But I'm just following this pencil line across. And I'm gonna need a little more ink over there, it's apparent. So that was the Mowed Lawn color. And a couple sprays of water. And it's almost like paint because I don't have all the mists of all these distress oxides. I don't have, I just have a couple mists. So this is the next best thing to making these inks work for me. Okay, now if I set this down, I think I need it to be a little bit thicker. So I'm actually just gonna try to add a little more water to what I've got here. So as it goes out, it gets a little lighter. Yeah, I like that. So the dark part, the darkest part of this ink is in the middle, and then as it moves more to the center, it's a little lighter because there's a little more water in this color because I added a little more water. I need a little more out here. And I need a little more up here. I know I'm not using this other color yet, but let me get this one going well before I add another color into the mix. Whoops. I want this to be pretty wet. I want it to be pretty light out here. And you can tell I've only used one ink pad color so far, and I've got a pretty good variety of shades just by adding the water to it. So I'm kind of liking the way that this is turning out. I like it. So I don't want to go too crazy with this other color. So I may just get a brush here and load it up and do some splatters instead of painting everywhere. I think I like that better. You need to get it pretty wet. The brush needs to be pretty wet for it to splatter. I don't want to set these all the way down. That's looking good. I'm going to add in more splatters using the these 2 mica mist drops, and they're going to be bigger splatters than these little tiny ones that we just made, because I do want a couple of substantial sized splatters. See how those are just a little bigger, and I'm not putting them all around the whole layout. Apparently one is going right here though. That dripped. I'm just putting a couple of these bigger ones on. Okay, and then I'm also going to add some of this fresh pear color. And again, I think I'm just going to keep it mainly in the same places as the gold ones. because these are a little bit bigger splatters. Okay, I'm gonna wait for this to dry before I do any more. So I'm gonna go clean up my mess and be right back. Let's see. Oh yeah, I kind of like it. I think it's gonna look good, but I'm gonna wait for it to dry before I adhere any more, go on with any more steps. Okay guys, this is almost dry. The gold isn't quite all the way dry, but while I was cleaning, one of the things that I did while this was drying was go ahead and put foam tape on the back of my picture and on the back of both of these, because the shaker was already popped up on foam tape, so I had to make the rest of it on foam tape so it could be, you know, flat. So I think what I'm going to do, even though this isn't all the way dry, I'm going to set my picture gently where I think it's gonna go, and set these gently where I think they're gonna go. And then okay, that looks good. And then I'm gonna go ahead and adhere these down right now. And I haven't adhered the picture or my cut file down yet. Sorry if you can hear the airplanes flying over right now. They're kind of loud. So I've got that down. And this side I'll do. And I'm trying not to move things around too much because I do know that some of this ink in the back is not dry. Okay, then I'm gonna pick up this one and I'm going to adhere the two cut files down. So I'll go ahead and do that off camera because there's a lot of adhesive that I need to peel off the back from. And then I'm gonna go and put this where I think it needs to go. Okay, and now I can take the adhesive off of my picture, but I think I'm going to pull the pieces off the four corners because they're overlapping over these, and I don't want it to be double thickness of foam tape. So I'll just get rid of the foam tape off the four corners, and that way it will sit nicely just right on top of that. So let me go pull all of the adhesive off the back, or all of the paper off the adhesive, and I'll be right back to adhere this one down. Okay, so now I'll get my pretend picture adhered down. Let's see. I want to do this so it's not covering up anything too important. There we go. And once I get my photo, I'll put it on there. And then these little guys, I think I can dress up. I don't necessarily need to put him on this layout because there's so many other little icons all around. Same with this Lucky. Okay, I feel like there's nowhere for me to put those. So I'm gonna save those. I'm gonna cut these two green tags and use those though. But I can sprinkle these three little four-leaf clovers around if I could get them. I think they're so cute. You know what? I think I want the bigger one to be at the bottom because there's only one down here. We'll see. I don't want to adhere those down yet. Let me get some of these other things going. I'm going to cut out the two green tags because, of course, St. Patrick's Day and green, it's perfect. I'm not even sure if I'm going to use both of them on here or not. But I do think when I do put these down, I will use them to put the date, or the year at least, so that I can remember which St. Patrick's Day this layout was. I feel like I don't really need a title on this layout. It's going to just be a picture of my kids, hopefully, in their green for St. Patrick's Day. So I don't feel like I need to again say St. Patrick's Day on here. Sometimes you just don't need a title. And then, maybe I can put these together in there. And I think I'm gonna do that down here. And I can put 2024 on the white one. Yeah, I think I'll do that. And then I think I kind of like these like this. I wonder if I should put those together. No, I kind of do like them scattered on the page. So I'll go ahead and get this adhered, and then I will see if there's anything else that I think that I need to add at the last minute. Actually, I think I ended up switching up a little bit these clovers. I ended up putting these two together right there on the outside of the circle, and this one down here to kind of balance it out. Something was just looking a little uneven to me on this, so I moved these from down here to up here, and I think I like that better. And I think I'll be able to tell a lot better when I get my picture on my layout how this will look. It's kind of hard when there's no picture, but I think that I am done, and thank you guys so much for watching. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Bye.